What is up, YouTube? Welcome to PanFro Games. In today's video, we're showing you how to best shiny hunt all of the Paradox Pokemon in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's update on the Nintendo Switch 2. Of course, guys, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Support my work by becoming a channel member, and let's dive in. To begin shiny hunting Paradox Pokemon, we are going to be starting off in the Zero Gate area. Now, if you didn't know, you cannot set up a picnic within Area Zero. It is a very weird location and it has just a lot of different properties. But you can set up a picnic right here and then just head right into Area Zero by either going down through the door or just by falling through there. It just depends on the location. Now, we're going to be starting in Pokemon Scarlet first, and the first sandwich we're going to make is going to be a sandwich to hunt Great Tusk. Now, we're going to save our game before every hunt because just in case you don't get the shiny, you can just turn off your game, reload. You'll be back here, and you haven't even used your sandwich materials yet, so you don't want to waste that precious Herba Mystica. Now, we are going to be starting with Great Tusk, and we're going to be actually using a fighting sandwich. Now, this is going to be a rather simple one. It's going to be one pickle, one salty. So we're ready to do this shiny hunt. So Switch 2 shiny hunting is significantly different, and the main reason is we are getting a max of 38, 39 spawns now, which is huge. But also the draw distance has increased. So for Great Tusk, we're actually going to go to Research Area 4, which is luckily where a lot of these Pokemon will be spawning in an isolated shiny hunt, which is fantastic. However, there was a really good method on Switch 1 to do a lot of these hunts, which was called the Crystal Method. You would be standing in a location. There's actually this crystal over here. You would go to this crystal over here, and then you could despawn them. But unfortunately, that doesn't really work anymore because the draw distance is too good. Let's just head on to the crystal real quick just to demonstrate it. Luckily, as I said, Great Tusk is an isolated hunt. The shiny is very obvious, so it's going to be super easy in general to do this hunt. But pretty much, we're not really despawning too much because of this crystal. Okay, here's the crystal over here. So, we're getting too many spawns coming in a rapid click, but they don't despawn fast enough. So all these spawns are going to come in over here, right? You're going to got a lot. I mean, you're going to easily get maybe like 20 spawns just up on here. I mean, some Pokemon will be spawning underneath you as well. But what we used to do on this Switch 1 was we would go up here and we would be able to shiny hunt because we could just walk back, certain distance, get a couple more spawning in, but no one despawn, right? On Switch 1, this would despawn the whole thing. This doesn't work anymore, unfortunately, which is very sad. So what we're actually going to do for the shiny hunt, which I think works better for Switch 2, is we're actually going to go right back to where we fast travel for Research Area 4. So that's the building you come from. From that building, you're actually just going to go over here to this little prop area, the overhang. And you can see all the spawns we're getting, which is pretty insane, right? Now, how do we despawn these guys? Well, the fastest way to despawn these guys is honestly to just go sort of over here to this cliff. Now, I do have the fly ability from the Blueberry Academy, so it does make it a little bit easier to get over here. But you just fly over. It pretty much despawns all those Pokemon over here, and you're going to get new Pokemon spawning on your right and behind you. And it's like, okay, I don't see a shiny Great Tusk, which is very obvious. It's going to be like green, green, yellow, you can't miss it. And then it's like, okay, I don't see a shiny. We're just going to go back over here. So we're going to be doing this for a lot of these shiny hunts that at least spawn in Research Area 4. This is just going to be the most ideal way to do it at this point because you cannot picnic reset in Area 0, which I still don't understand why we can't picnic reset. This area is very weird. Co-op's also very weird here in the sense that you can't see your co-op partner, which is, I don't understand why you can't see your co-op partner here where you can see them anywhere else. They just become invisible when you're in the same multiplayer session. It's super weird. So I'm just going to keep on doing this until we can hopefully get a Great Tusk to pop a shiny. Well, I got my shiny Great Tusk. Unfortunately, my recording failed on the actual capture, but we did get the Great Tusk. So there we go. Shiny Great Tusk. Just caught, freshly caught. I mean, it's so obvious, though, what it looks like compared to all the others. It's super easy. It's going to stick out. So there you go. That's an easy shiny hunt, and let's move on to our next one. Our next hunt is going to be Screamtail, and I used a Psychic type sandwich, and I'm going to actually do the exact same method I did for Great Tusk, which is we're going to do the fly around here. So we went down here, and we're going to go around to over here and just go in a big circle. And, stop down here for spawns to come in. As you can see, it's not an isolated shiny hunt. We do get Espartha coming into, but the thing is, in resource areas 1, 2, and 3, You get Floette spawning in, and they are cluster spawns, and they take up 5 spawns. Now, with his Spartha's only 1, so we actually have a higher chance of getting more Screamtails in his Spartha's, and it seems like Screamtail is much more of a common spawn in general, with a Psychic-type sandwich. Now, if you did a Fairy-type sandwich down here, you would be getting Flutter mains, and we don't want to do that because Flutter main has a really easy isolated method, so there's just no point, you know, because we can really get a Flutter main. Now, the shiny for Screamtail is actually going to be pretty obvious. Its eyes are going to be red, and it's going to be much more of a purple hue to it, and its tail is going to be purple as well. So it's going to really stand out, and hey, maybe you'll get a shiny Espartha while you're doing this as well if you're into that. But relatively easy shiny hunt. Hopefully it doesn't take us too long. Oh, right there. On cue. On cue. Look at that little vampire. Look at the vampire little demon Screamtail monster thing. I love to see it. Absolutely gorgeous. And there we go. That was immediate, honestly. That was super quick, super fast, and now we can move on to our next shot. And our next shiny hunt is Brute Bonnnet. I am using a grass level 3 sandwich for this, and is an isolated shiny hunt once again in research area 4. Who would have thought research area 4 is coming in super clutch? So once again, we are going to do the go around in a circle while we fly method, and the shiny for this is incredibly obvious because instead of a red cap, it's going to be a blue cap. It's the same shiny as a Moongus, so really easy to identify, really easy isolated shiny hunt. So hopefully you get one of these pretty quickly. There we go. We got our shiny Brute Bonnnet. Well, it is more purple than blue. My bad. I thought it was a blue ball, but it is a Master Ball. So super easy, stands out from the crowd. Very easy shiny hunt in general, though. So you should get this rather quickly. Good luck, and let's move on to our next hunt. But of course, you got to put the shiny Brute Bonnnet into a Master Ball. It's the only appropriate ball. It just makes the most sense. So next up is Flutter main, and we have our sandwich ready. Now, it's very important that your game needs to be in the daytime or this method will not work. Just make sure your map says it's daytime. Once it is the daytime, you have your sandwich made. You are going to go over to research area 4. Now, ideally, you're doing this at the start of your day because the daytime cycles in Scarlet and Violet takes 30 minutes each. So 30 minutes for day, 30 minutes for night. And your sandwich lasts 30 minutes. So if you do this at the start of your day, then you will have a great time. And of course, you can adjust your game time by very easily just changing your system clock. And by turning off your game, adjusting your system clock by a few minutes, and that will actually change the time. But to do the shiny hunt is relatively easy. You can just stand here and wait, and that's it. You're just gonna wait for a shiny Flutter main to appear because how this exploit works is ghost type Pokemon cannot spawn during the day. However, Area 0 does not have that rule. So right now, rapidly despawning and spawning in are regular Flutter mains. However, shiny Pokemon do not despawn due to that. So if a shiny spawns in, it will stay in. So we're just going to wait here until we eventually see a shiny Flutter main. It can appear in front of us or to our left. I mean, there's really anywhere works, but you don't want to actually fly around because you don't want to accidentally despawn the shiny. You literally just want to wait here, and you know it has turned to nighttime when regular Flutter mains are spawning in. That's when you know it's been nighttime, and you just got to wait another 30 minutes or just go into your switch to system clock and then move time forward by 30 minutes when you have the game off, and then you should be able to start a new fresh daytime cycle. I actually have a whole video on this, and there's shiny Flutter main, just like that. Like I said, I have a whole video dedicated to this. If you want to even further explanation about it, definitely check it out on my channel. But super easy shiny Flutter main hunt. It is absolutely free 99, so good luck on this hunt, and let's move on to the next. And next up, we're going to be going for Slitherwing with a bug-type sandwich. Now, this sandwich is a little bit more complicated than some of the others because for the basil, we actually need to drop 2 pieces and not put them on the sandwich, and then put 2 pieces on the sandwich to get it to work. So just keep that in mind. It's very important you get that done, or this just will not work as intended. Now that we have our sandwich, we are going to drop off here. Now, I got to say, Slitherwing definitely got a bit harder. It was easier on Switch 1, but on Switch 2, it definitely seems a little bit harder to do. There is no easy way to do it, and there is no way to isolate bug or fighting Pokemon. We're doing a bug sandwich for a reason, because we do get cluster spawns with a fighting sandwich with Meditite and Palmy, And the clusters, you know, they actually take up more spawns somehow than these Venomoths and the Frost Moths are, which is very unfortunate, but is just sort of how the cookie crumbles out here. But I sort of like this method of just dropping off and just running back and doing a reset. Just wait for a bunch of Pokemon to spawn in, and then hopefully you'll eventually get your shiny. Now, the shiny will stick out. It's going to be all yellow, so no red on the wings, no red on the face. It's going to be an all yellow shiny. It's going to be definitely stick out. Pretty easy stuff to tell from the other ones. You could do this as a walk around. This only works in Research Area 1 and 2, though. And I do find this area to probably be the best to just respawn them as quickly as possible, or just running back and forth in general. You're going to make sure you run back and forth further enough just so you actually do despawn some of them. That is just one of the things of the Switch 2 is because our draw distance is increased, we are getting, yes, more Pokemon spawns. However, it is also harder to despawn them. And because we can't picnic reset in Area 0, this hunt does become just super brutal now. We had a great, easy way to do it on Switch 1 with a fighting type sandwich, but that method just unfortunately doesn't work anymore at the moment. So we're just going to have to keep on doing this until we get this shiny. I spy with my little eye something shiny in the back. It's pretty obvious. I mean, it's definitely sticks out. It's gold. Also, you know, it has a purple tail here instead of the green tail. That's another good way. You know, there's that purple tail. Unfortunately, we got into battle with another one, but there we go. Honestly, this shiny hunt isn't that bad because we are getting so many spawns in general. But yeah, it definitely was better on the Switch 1 overall too. So good luck on this hunt, and let's move on to our next. Our next shiny hunt is gonna be for Sandy Shocks, and then we have an electric sandwich here. Now, this is not going to be an easy hunt. It was never an easy hunt in general, so I'm actually just gonna jump right on down the hole here just to show you the path I would take to get down there. But Sandy Shocks only spawns in 2 different spots in the entire game. Now, if you're running around, you're going to see a lot of Raichus, a lot of Palmies, a lot of Palmos, which is fine. But we're actually just going to jump right on down, and we're going to go to this patch of like ground right here, this dirt patch. And this is actually one of the major spots where it can spawn. As you can see, we are actually getting a good amount of spawns here. And the shiny is a little bit hard to tell. It's actually right in front of me. We got a shiny immediately. Well, there you go. Shiny Sandy Shocks right there immediately. I got to say that the spawns are a lot better on the Switch 2 than the Switch 1. But how you can tell it's shiny is it has the black and gold colors on it, on where the red and blue would be, like for the Magnemite line, so right on the magnets. But instant shiny, very cool that we got it. It's also a gold body, but it can be a little bit hard to see with the lighting areas here because it's pretty horrible. But to show you guys the spot here, so this whole area will spawn them. So if you go down here too, you'll get some as well, which is pretty nice. And honestly, this isn't that bad in general. Now, the thing is, all those up there despawn, so you don't see a shiny down here. Then you're like, okay, I don't see a shiny. You're just going to climb up or fly back up. And then hopefully, you know, you just probably stop right here. And you will start getting more Sandy Shock spawns. I'll probably like stay in a corner or something like that, because you are going to get some other Pokemon spawning, just the nature of the beast for this location. But that's fine. As long as you're doing an electric type sandwich, you won't get ground type spawns coming in here, which is really important, because they will take up some of the spawns. But I do think down here overall looks better, because you can also like hang out on this cliff too. Could be a little bit hard to see which one's shiny or not, depending on the game's lighting. But, you know, just run up and check each one, and hopefully you get it as quickly as I did, which is AKA instantly. Anyways, good luck with this shiny hunt, and we are going to move on to our last Scarlet one. Our last hunt's going to be Roaring Moon in Pokemon Scarlet, and we have made a Dragon type sandwich, and we are going to head on over to Research Area 3. Now, the best place to hunt it is going to be the Roaring Moon Cave. I actually already covered this in a previous video featuring just Switch 2 shiny hunting in general, but real quick, let's go through it. And it's not that hard of a hunt. So from Research Area 3, you're going to make a left here. And, you know, you're going to see a bunch of random Pokemon. You can just ignore them all. We're just going to keep on going. Now, this cave is actually a little bit hidden, but it's going to be on the left side right here. And when you get to this big rock, you're just going to keep going left. And now we are in the Roaring Moon Cave. Now, there is not an isolated shiny hunt. You will be getting Gibbles, you will be getting Dinos, but you will be getting Roaring Moons as well. If you were to do a Dark type sandwich, you still get the Dinos, but you also get like Sableye and things like that. I just rather go with the Dragon sandwich. I think it's just easier to control. Plus, I wouldn't mind an extra shiny Gibble as well alongside that, right? So what we're gonna do is essentially you're just gonna go around this room and you're gonna just get a bunch of spawns. And I think the best way to hunt this personally is to fly around and just pan the camera around while you're flying. Just, just do it correctly. And you eventually will get a shiny Roaring Moon. Now, the shiny is very obvious, which is nice. It's like neon green. So you're not going to really miss it. And you are getting a good amount of spawns here. And yeah, if you just pan the camera while you're flying, you're not going to miss any spawns that come right behind you in general. Like, you're going to see them pretty quickly. So it's really not that hard of a hunt in general. I just wish you can isolate it. But this hunt was a lot harder on the Switch 1. So I am glad that this hunt got significantly easier just because of the sheer number of Pokemon spawning in. And like I said, I wouldn't mind any extra other shiny Pokemon showing up here too while we're doing this hunt. It's very common to get a shiny Gibble or a shiny Dino and things like that. If you don't want to fly around though, sprinting works just as well. You can also sprint up here too if you just want to despawn this pack. So go down, and then you pretty much despawned all the ones in the back, and then you can just run to the other side. So there's a couple ways you can do this. It's just up to your personal preference. I personally think flying's overall the best way, just because it's the fastest. I don't have to worry about running into a Pokemon that just like spawns right in front of me, or something like being a really aggressive in front of me. And the Roaring Moons will fly as well. So, sometimes you will just be flying. It's like, oh, there's a Roaring Moon right in front of me. So it's relatively easy shiny hunt in general, and good luck. And there's our shiny Roaring Moon. Just like that. And that took us literally 5 minutes. Easy. Shiny Roaring Moon done. Get over here. We'd love to see it. Absolutely gorgeous shiny. Now, our first Pokemon Violet hunt is going to be Iron Shreds with the Steel Sandwich. And for Iron Shreds, we are going to go over to Research Area 4. A lot of these hunts are going to be very similar to their counterpart if they do have a counterpart. So we're going to pretty much be doing the exact same hunt over in Research Area 4. And very simple because it's the only steel type Pokemon that actually spawns in the area. Don't do a ground type sandwich, as you will probably be getting Doug Trios too. And we're not trying to hunt those, we're trying to isolate shiny hunt these. So the Iron Shreds are going to be out here. But we're just going to do the thing where we just hop around from here to the other side. Despawn those guys, get down here, and we're just going to essentially go in circles, and eventually we'll get our shiny Iron Shreds. It should be a relatively easy shiny hunt. There we go. We got our shiny Iron Shreds right here. So it is more chrome. It's more shiny looking. It's brighter for sure. Even though it looks very similar, it is a brighter color of chrome. There's no black to it at all either, so it's just chrome in red instead of like red, black, and steel color. But there we go, Iron Shreds. And let's begin our next shiny hunt. Our next hunt is going to be for Iron Bundle. We're going to use the water type sandwich. You could also use an ice type sandwich. And we're going to go over to Research Area 4. Now, very similar to Iron Shreds, we're going to be doing the exact same method where we're going to be going around in a big circle, flying around. And it's going to be another chromed out shiny because all these shinies are chromed out, which is really nice if you enjoy that. First, I prefer the Scarlet shinies because there's, more diversity to them. But the thing about the chromed out Iron Bundle is you're really going to stick out because you're just not going to have all this red on it, on the shiny. So you just got to look out for one that is going to be all chrome and very similar pathing. So usually you just want to like sit here for a second, look around at the spawns because the spawns are going to keep on coming in. I don't see a shiny. I think that's enough spawns. And then we're just going to fly on over. Actually, I feel like a good spot to fly over to is this crystal right here. And you can actually just stand over on the crystal for a little bit, get a couple of spawns. Some will spawn right behind you, so just keep that in mind when you're looking on the crystal. Just looking around, and I don't see any shiny, so then we're going to move up, and then we're going to go back over there to the other side. You can run through, you can fly, doesn't really matter how you get there. You'll be getting spawns either way, how you're doing it. And once again, over to this overhang. You can also hang out on the rock too, just so you don't get anything attacking you. And yeah, hopefully you get your shiny under iron bundle soon. Good luck. And another shiny hunted. It really sticks out. It's a sore thumb in the group, but there you go. Shiny on the iron bundle. Honestly, this is probably my favorite of the Pokemon Violet paradoxes. I think it's just a hilarious looking dude. Also is a good looking shiny in general. So let's move on to our next shiny hunt. In our next shiny hunt, we're going to go for Iron Hands, and we're going to go to Research Area 4 with an Electric type sandwich. Now, if you do an Electric type sandwich, it's isolated. Do a Fighting type sandwich, it's not isolated. So definitely do an Electric type sandwich. Now, we're going to be doing this hunt like all the other ones in Research Area 4. Very simple. The Iron Hands will be popping up, and we're looking for one that is full on Chrome. So it will stick out in the crowd. But the thing is, a lot of them, they spawn in and then they're not activated. But the ones that are shiny will not have the blue. They're going to be blueless. So you got to look around for a Iron Hands that has no blue on it. And it's a relatively easy shiny hunt. But once again, we're going to do the same pathing as we usually do. We're going to go from there to the crystal. And then from the crystal, we're going to go back to there. But relatively easy shiny hunt. Good luck. And there we go. Shiny Iron Hands right here. Just no blue. Just don't look for any blue on the Iron Hands and you'll get your shiny. It can be a little bit tricky for sure. But honestly, if all these spawns, it's not the worst. It's isolated. So good luck on this shiny hunt. Now for our next hunt, it's going to be Iron Thorns with an Electric type sandwich. Now I would recommend not using a rock type sandwich because you are going to be getting a lot of the Knackly lines spawning, and they do cluster spawns, and it'll take the Iron Thorn spawn. So we're jumping right into the pit of Area 0 here, and into the pit of Area 0. We are going to be getting only Electric type Pokemon, which is fine. It's not an isolated hunt because it's just a very small area for Iron Thorns. What we're going to do is we're going to go down to this little cliff side that has all this dirt on it, and we're going to be jumping up and down the cliff to do this shiny hunt. Now Iron Thorns is going to be spawning in masses with some Iron Hands, but that's okay because you can just even see him starting to come in from here. Very, very chill. And of course, you know, further back we get some Iron Hands and things like that. Sometimes you get an Iron Hand spawning within this group, but you can see a bunch of Iron Thorns spawning. It's a decent amount of spawns. And to reset this spot, we're actually going to go right down here. And also the shiny's all chromed out, so just look for one that's all silver. It's going to stick out for sure. It's very easy to notice. So you just jump down here. You don't see a shiny. What you're going to do is just jump down, then climb back up. And pretty much when you climb back all the way up to the top, you despawn most of the ones behind you, which is very nice. And then you're going to get a whole new bunch up here. So it's going to be a relatively easy shiny hunt. It might just take some time because you do have to climb between two spots for this to really work out well. But the spawns are great in general. And, you know, you are getting about 15 spawns per attempt here, which is not bad at all. So consider. Oh, we got a shiny in the corner. He's like, don't talk to me. I'm angry. Or I guess he's sleepy. But there we go. Shiny Iron Thorns. Very obvious. I actually like the shiny on this one a lot, too. I like the chrome with the green. So really cool hunt. And let's move on to our next shiny hunt. So our next hunt's Iron Moth, and we have jumped down from the top of Area 0, Fire type sandwich, and we are going to do a spawn despawn. Now this hunt is not easy because the shiny's not that easy to tell. So you're looking for an all chromed out like head. So no red on the head and no red on the inner tips of its wings. Those are going to be chromed out. Now this is definitely a hard one because it's just one of those where you're just going to have to really start looking at all of these, and hopefully you can figure it out. Luckily, they just sort of stand there and look at you, which is sort of nice. They're not aggressive, so just got to try not to hit into any of them. But after you've done a nice sweep through the crowd and be like, okay, I don't see a shiny, which I currently do not see a shiny, because unfortunately we're not going to be that lucky on the hardest paradox hunt in the game. We're just going to go run all the way back here, and this is pretty much going to despawn them all. You know, we got like one or two made it. But for the most part, this is a great way. And of course, any of the ones that get too close that didn't despawn, you can just knock them out with your auto battle Pokemon. And yeah, you're just going to have to just make sure to check each one. Is definitely the hardest one for looking visually. It's That's why this hunt's just going to be really slow, because there's no really good way to catch it out from a crowd, unfortunately. I do wish the wings were all chrome. That would certainly make this hunt a lot easier. But essentially, you're just looking for one that doesn't have any red on it. Only orange and silver. Good luck. Well, that took 2 sandwiches. But we're here. Shiny Iron Moth. You can see the difference, though. It's all chrome on the head and the inner tips of the wings. This is definitely the hardest shiny hunt, though, in the Area 0, for sure. Absolutely the hardest, but hey, I'm glad we got it. We can move on to our last Paradox hunt. For our next shiny hunt, we're going to go for a flying type sandwich, and we're going to go to Research Area 4 as a shiny hunt for Iron Jugulis. Now, luckily for us, Iron Jugulis is going to be the only flying type Pokemon that actually spawns in this cave. So we're going to be able to do the same method as we've done before, where we can just go in the big circle and get our shiny Iron Jugulis. Now, very simple. From Research Area 4, we're just going to go all the way to the right here, and then we just want to get on over to here. Now, the shiny is going to be very obvious. It's going to be chromed out. So we're just going to look for one that looks like all the other shinies for the most part. Just an all silver shiny Jugulis for the most part. I mean, it's going to be not have that black on it, not have that blue on it. So it's going to be super easy to recognize. So we're going to go over here, and on this crystal, you can wait a little bit. Just wait. Let's see a shiny. Keep on going, and just keep on making the big circle until, you know, you eventually get your shiny. So good luck on this shiny hunt. And there we go. Shiny Iron Jugulis is very easy. It sticks out in the crowd. It just have that silver on it for the most part, replacing the blue on its body. And yeah, another easy shiny hunt done. And let's move on to our last shiny hunt. For our last Paradox shiny hunt, we're gonna go for Iron Valliant with a fairy type sandwich. And we can actually do this one in Research Area 4. Now, I am glad that this hunt is actually very easy, especially compared to Roaring Moon, which isn't that hard anymore. It used to be really hard on Switch 1, but this hunt is a very easy hunt to do on the Switch 2 in Pokemon Violet. So we're going to go over to Research Area 4, and we're going to go back to our tried and true method of going in a big circle in this area. Now, we can see a bunch of Iron Valliants, and is the only Pokemon spawning in this general area, which is awesome. Now, Iron Valliant shiny is going to be an all chromed out Pokemon. So you're just going to look for one that is just chromed out, super easy. But once again, we're going to go ahead and make the big circle. So you want to start here, and you want to look back there, wait for, when the spawn stop coming in. You don't see anything that's all chromed out. You're going to jump over to this crystal right over here, and you're going to keep on doing the same thing. You're just going to stand on this crystal. You're going to look around and be like, all right, I think I see enough of them. Remember, on the crystal, some of them will spawn behind you, things like that. And we are now going to continue and go back up to where we just were and keep on doing that loop-de-loop. And hopefully you'll get your shiny Iron Valiant quickly. Like I said, it is an isolated shiny hunt, so this is a very easy hunt in general. With all the spawns coming in, it should be a pretty quick one. It only takes one sandwich, so good luck. And there we have it, shiny Iron Valiant. Very obvious, it sticks out. Very cool shiny in general too, but relatively easy shiny hunt. Is an isolated shiny hunt, so we're chilling. And guys, that is the last shiny Paradox that you can hunt. Miraidon, Koraidon, they are shiny locked. The DLC Paradox Pokemon are all shiny locked. So these are the only 14 that you can get. So get those while you can, and hopefully the others will come in the future. Of course, guys, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Support my work by becoming a channel member. I really appreciate that. And let me know in the comment section below if you want me to cover any other hunts or any other video game stuff. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out and have a great one.